I would define trust in terms of having confidence and faith in your fellow employees, in being able to rely upon them in situations where you yourselves are vulnerable to their actions. So having a degree of faith that they will do the right things, that we are interdependent upon each other, and therefore we need to make sure that we are not just focused on our self-interest. So our high trust culture is one in which people are not looking at the short term, they're not looking at just self-interest. They are looking out for each other. They are what I would call other-centered. And they're thinking of the other in terms of their fellow employees, but also in terms of their customers, in terms of society as a whole. And one of the things that really guides businesses to operate in this fashion is having this idea of a higher purpose. When you know what your business is in existence to achieve, then you know that we are all in this collectively going towards that particular destination. And that's something that aligns the energies of everybody and creates, if you know that people don't have hidden agendas, that everybody is there because they want to be there and they are in fact motivated by loyalty first to that higher purpose, and that their own personal well-being is a function of their ability to deliver on that higher purpose. That's, I think, the most important factor, that we have employees and then leaders as well who are driven not by self-interest but by adherence to that higher purpose, and whose purpose is not simply to maximize their own benefits but to actually achieve the goal that they are collectively there to achieve. You know, companies have recognized the importance of trust, and many of them have tried to build trust, but a lot of them have gone about it in the wrong way. You know, I was in Brussels last year, and I was talking to a consultant who was talking about a client engagement that they had just started on with a major company, and he described it as a $500 million campaign to build trust. Right? And I said, well, on the one hand, I'm really gratified that this company believes trust is that important, that they're willing to put so many resources into it. But I'm concerned that they're viewing this as something that they can buy, that there's a short-term fix to this problem of a lack of trust, and that we can create some clever ad campaigns and bring in some spokespeople and do certain things in the community. All of those may be just a surface level sorts of things, and people are going to see through that. We live in a world today where people are much more informed. Because of the internet, they have access to almost an infinite amount of information. There's nothing really that you do inside a company that is really secret from the world. If you don't want it to be common knowledge, if you don't want to see it on the front page of the New York Times, then maybe it's an action that you should not take because of that level of transparency that exists out there. So transparency and authenticity and a sense of caring are really critical attributes in the world today. So today, due to a variety of factors that we talk about in our book, the culture has changed dramatically. More people are at a stage in life where their value systems are shifting, and they're looking more to not at just their self-interest, but they're looking at collective well-being. People are looking at legacy, they're looking at meaning, those kinds of drivers. And this is partly because of the aging that's going on in society, where more people are in midlife and beyond, and the values of midlife are very different than the values of early life. So you have people who are at that stage of life in most developed countries around the world. Median age is 45 to 50, and in Japan it's well into the mid-50s. And when you have the population with those characteristics, they're going to care about different things. Now with the internet, they know about so many things, and they can connect with each other. So these are all factors now that are making it very difficult for companies to fake it. I mean, it has to be earned through actions. It has to be authentic. It has to come from an inner core of true belief. It has to come out of respect. So we're going to need a number of things to change. We're going to have to change our perception of leadership in companies, what kinds of leaders we look for. We're going to have to rediscover the higher purpose that the business exists for, and really make that the guiding force in the life of the company. We're going to have to do away with short-term thinking. We're going to have to think in longer terms. We're going to have to also look at the kinds of employees that we have within the company and assess the fit. We want to create a trusting culture within the company where you need to have people who are trustworthy and capable of also trusting others. Unfortunately, our collective history has led a lot of people to become cynical, untrusting, and also themselves not being very trustworthy. And these are things that hopefully we can make people believe that they can trust again. But some people may simply not be capable of that. So again, as a screening criteria, I would also look at, is this somebody who's going to work well within a system in which we have to actually rely on other people, and also will they be somebody who other people can rely upon. So those are some of the factors I think that are necessary for companies if they want to create a more trusting and therefore ultimately happier and more productive workplace.